this could end up being quite a big story, I think. The United States government is reportedly building a website that would let people in the UK and Europe and anywhere in the world, I suppose, bypass all their own online safety laws. So this isn't a private VPN company. It's not some hacker tool. This is a government website. So let's have a look at the story. Well, according to a Reuters report, the portal, which will be called freedom.gov, could allow users to access content blocked under European and UK regulations by routing all the traffic through US infrastructure. So basically, I think you just go to a website and then route your traffic, much like a VPN, but a sort of government-sponsored one. And we can see it here, I think. They've already got a website up. I quite like the sort of animation and a cowboy on a horse there. Freedom is coming. Very good. So if this is accurate, it would be quite an unusual development because governments normally enforce internet rules. They don't usually build tools to get around other democracies' rules. So let's have a little look at what's being proposed and what we know so far. So what content are we talking about? Well, things like the EU's Digital Services Act and the UK's Online Safety Act require platforms to remove lots of categories of content, including illegal hate speech, extremist material, all sorts of things, adult stuff. And a lot of it is age-gated as well. They put age verification on lots of different websites. So a lot of this material remains protected under the US First Amendment standards. So the portal seems to be appears anyway, to be aimed at bridging that legal divide about what's being blocked in Europe, for instance, and what's protected in the US. So how would it work? Well, details are a bit thin here. It sounds like it's going to be, well, there's a US portal that suggests it may function like a proxy or a VPN, meaning that you'd go to this website and then users abroad would appear to be coming from the United States. So that could bypass sort of all the geo-blocking and platform level restrictions. But there's no technical blueprint that has been released yet. So we're only guessing, really. So why is the US doing this? Well, the reported framing is this: they're supporting freedom of expression, which they think is being eroded across the world. So there's been growing friction between US officials and European regulators over all sorts of speech rules, moderation standards, and platform liabilities. And this may be kind of part of that broader disagreement. It is unusual. There's no doubt about that we're not talking about Russia or China here. We're talking about the US and Europe, allied democracies, which will end up, and I presume Europe will respond, potentially building tools that circumvent each other's legal systems, really. So it's kind of really new territory, but that seems to happen every week now, so maybe it isn't. So the legal questions, well, I don't know. This could be really complicated. It's a bit too early. I did have a little look at this, but it could be complicated. And we're only guessing. I don't even know if it's going to happen yet. So it's definitely too early to go deep. But the key point is we don't yet know how aggressively this would be enforced, blocked, or challenged. And at this stage, it's a proposal with political weight more than operational detail. As I say, the only thing we can see is that there is a website. It has been registered. So keep an eye on that. So as of now, the portal isn't operational. It's just a website. If it launches, there'll be a lot of reaction, a lot of pushback, I could guess, particularly from EU regulators, and potentially Ofcom will get very upset in the UK as well, which will please a lot of people, I suspect. Whether this just becomes a symbolic statement or a real tool remains to be seen, I think, really. So for years, we've talked about sort of the splinternet scenario, where national filtering, age verification, geo-blocking sort of makes lots of different versions of the internet. This could be another step in that direction, really. So When governments start building bypass systems for allied countries, it suggests we're moving into quite a more fragmented digital world, I suspect. And I don't think the VPN companies will be that happy about it either. So anyway, that's just it's quite a new story, and I just thought I'd give you a heads up on it. Thanks for watching, as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.